Alright guys, welcome back, and I'm back with another review with G1. This is days 4 through 6. A little late, but while I'm recording this, I've yet to watch days 7 through 9, so I'm going to go ahead and try to play catch up, and hopefully sometime this week I can try to get days 7 through 9 out. But right now, this video is going to be focusing on days 4 through 6 of the G1. Strictly the tournament matches. So we start off with Toru Yano and Satoshi Kojima. Yano ended up getting the win. Typical Yano match. Shit dragged on way too long. I can somewhat tolerate a 5-minute Yano match where you're doing all that bullshit. But a fucking 10-minute? Come on. And it got worse with day 6. So this is a match you just want to skip. Then we get to Evil defeating Juice Robinson. These two worked really well together. The Juice showing that fighting spirit, while Evil doing his usual shit. Evil ended up getting a couple points on the board after losing to Sanada in day 2. Juice, he had a couple of points earlier by defeating Kojima. So that was a pretty good match. I believe that was the one where Evil was working over Juice's neck, and he ultimately hit the STO to pick up the win. Then we had Menorah, Suzuki, and Sanada. This is a pretty good match where Suzuki was beating the shit out of Sanada for most of it, where he would hit him with a chair, work over the leg a little bit. Sanada would come back, hit his double leapfrog drop kick, which was on point. He would counter the sleeper hold into the skull in, which was Dragon Sleeper. And he had some pretty good counters. But ultimately, Minoru Suzuki ends up picking up the win with a sleeper hold, then hitting a pile driver for the 3 count. So afterwards, we get Kenny Omega and Tama Tonga. This was a really good match. And this is the best match I've seen from Tama Tonga in the G1 so far this year and last year. Better than any match he's been in last year. Where right from the gate he attacks Omega and he is beating the shit out of him. Then as he threw him out the ring, grabs a microphone, then he cuts this promo. Hey, if you're gonna be our Bullet Club leader, you need to rep Bullet Club. Fuck all that elite bullshit with the Young Bucks. You need to make up your mind. Are you Bullet Club or not? It's like, if you're gonna be leader of the Bullet Club, you rep the Bullet Club. If you're gonna be Bullet Club, you gotta prove you're one of us. That was pretty good from Tama Tonga. Then he was working over Omega's leg throughout the match, and Omega would get his comeback spots, and Tama Tonga would chop him down. But ultimately, at the end, Omega was spamming V triggers up the ass, and he was killing Tama Tonga with them. And he would end up hitting a wing angel for the 3 count. And then the main event, Okada defeats Unbreakable Michael Elgin. This is one of those matches where it was Okada trying to match Elgin's power with his speed, counteract that. Really good match. Thought they did a great job. Thought Elgin did a great job in this losing effort. And he's putting motherfuckers over clean. Man, Elgin's come a long way. Because 3 years ago, this nigga was Super Elgin in ROH. And the fans were getting sick of him. I was getting sick of him myself. But 2 years ago when he made his debut at the G1, everything turned around for Elgin when he made his debut at the G1. And he gave that performance. So, tip of the cap to Elgin for putting over Okada clean. He's also put over Tonga clean in day 2. May not necessarily agree with that, but I respect it. So overall, day 4, really good effort. Would I say it's much better than day 2? I give it an 8 out of 10. So then we go to day 5, where it's back to the A block. And you get Zack Sabre Jr. defeating Yoshihashi. These two had really good chemistry in the match. Sabre will work over Yoshihashi's arm to try to set up some submissions. And Yoshihashi showing that fighting spirit, because he's only won one match. And that was against... who was it again? Let's see, I believe it was... yeah, it was Yuji Nagata. Defeating Yuji Nagata. So it's gonna be those, Yoshihashi's gonna be in those matches where it's probably gonna be fighting spirit, where he's gonna fight his heart out, but he's gonna come up short. Sabre picks up the win to get 4 points on the board. So then we get Hiroshi Tanahashi defeating Yuji Nagata. Great match from these two, where you had Yuji Nagata working over Tanahashi's arm to set up for whenever he would put him in the armbar. Tanahashi working over Nagata's leg so you could set him up for the Texas Cloverleaf. Nagata, this is his last G1, and he's going all out, bro. He's going balls out in each match. Respect to Nagata for that. So at the end, Tanahashi would get out of the armbar, and he ends up hitting Nagata with back-to-back high fly flows to pick up the win. Great match. Then we get Bad Luck Fale defeating Tetsuya Naito. This was actually a surprise. I didn't think Fale would win, because looking at Naito being over as fuck, figured if anybody might beat him, it may end up being Tanahashi. But surprisingly, they let Fale go over. So really, it was a solid match. It was the worst match on the card, but it was alright for what it was. And apparently this was the story where Naito was getting revenge for Daryl, the stuffed cat that Hiromu Takahashi would always bring to the ring with. Because in day 4, when Bullet Club and Los Ingobernables de Japón had a tag match, Fale ripped up Daryl to pieces. And Hiromu Takahashi was like crying about it. It was pretty dumb, honestly. I mean, I get New Japan wants to have a little comedy, but can it not be stupid? Not anything like this. Like comedy, like whenever the ring announcer's announcing Bad Luck Fale's name and Fale just kicks his ass. That's straight up, that's good comedy right there. But the whole Daryl thing, like the rest in peace Daryl, I wasn't really feeling it. Never really felt it, but okay match. Moving on to Kota Ibushi and Tomohiro Ishii. This was a great match, where it was speed versus power. Although Ishii tried to bullying Ibushi nonstop. Ibushi was using speed, but he would try to show that he could hit as hard as Ishii. These guys were beating the shit out of each other. It was one of the better Ibushi matches and Ishii matches. I'm not sure if I call this the best match, but it was a damn good match. It's a tie between this and Tanahashi and Nagata for best match on day 5. And Kota Ibushi, he ended up picking up the win. I think it was not Phoenix Splash. God, I can't remember. I think it was a roll-up that he got him on. But Ishii picked up Actually, no. Kota Ibushi picked up the win. Damn, kind of get tired from work, botching all over the place, but Ibushi wins. Really good to see Ibushi, and I really appreciate that Ibushi came back to New Japan. He could have stayed in WWE like a bitch, be like Nakamura, take the pay cut, take a paycheck, not do shit. But Ibushi said, nah, I love wrestling too much. I'm coming back to New Japan. So salute to Ibushi for getting the fuck up out of the E when he could, to avoid John Cena or Roman Reigns burying his ass. So then we got the main event, Togi Makabe and Haruki Goto. This was a pretty good match. Not a bad match. Although I disagree with this being a main event. Because this is like the weakest main event that I've seen so far. Yeah, it was good to where Goto and Makabe, they did their shit. Where they would often no-sell each other. Where you get points in the match where they were hitting Germans on each other and they were no-selling. And Makabe, it ended with Makabe doing a Spider German, followed by a King Kong knee drop off the top rope to pick up the win. And that was it for day 5. So standings for A block as I'm recording this, I've yet to watch days 7 and 9. From what I've seen, you got Naito, Tanahashi, Goto, Zack Sabre Jr., Bad Luck Fale, and Kota Ibushi all tied with 4 points. You got Yoshihashi, Tomohiro Ishii, and Togi Makabe all tied with 2 points, and Yuji Nagata is at 0 points. So day 6 of the G1, we're back to the B block, and we got Michael Elgin defeating Satoshi Kojima. This is a pretty good match to start off, to get the crowd's blood flowing. When Elgin and Kojima working well, these guys two work pretty well together. It was a hard-hitting match. Elgin trying to pick up some points on the board. Kojima, they were both sitting at 0, so Elgin trying to get some momentum after losing back-to-back matches to Tama Tonga and Okada. But Kojima would hit Elgin and Kojima hit each other with lariats, but at the end, Elgin hitting up a buckle bomb followed by the Elgin bomb for the 3 count. Then that was a really good match. Great. Then next match you had Evil defeating Tama Tonga. Solid match. These two probably had some okay time together. These guys were beating the shit out of each other. These guys would try to... Yeah, Tama Tonga hitting his spots, Evil doing his shit. They were brawl outside the ring. They were brawling all over the place. Got back in the ring. Good back and forth. Evil ended up hitting the... And actually, the end stretch, you had a lot of counters. Really good counters with Evil trying to hit the STO. Tama Tonga getting out of it, trying to counter it into the gun stun. Just back and forth counters of their finishers. But Evil ended up winning the exchange and hitting the STO for the 3 count to pick up the win. Yeah, Minoru Suzuki defeating Juice Robinson. Pretty good match, where this match was Suzuki working over Juice Robinson's leg. Robinson showing his heart, but at the end, his injuries were too much for him, and Suzuki ends up hitting the sleeper hold, putting him in his sleeper hold, then letting up to hit the cradle power driver for the 3 count. Then we get Kenny Omega defeating Toru Yano. What the fuck? How the fuck do you have Kenny Omega go that long with Toru Yano? 10 fucking minutes. This shit should have been a fucking squash match. Yano should not be going back and forth with Omega. You made Omega look fucking weak with this fucking match. Seriously, what the fuck was going through Gato's mind? Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, you have Yano fucking give Omega a DVD. Omega opens the DVD, and then it turns out it's filled with powder, and Yano fucking smacks the DVD up in Omega's face, blinding him with fucking powder, doing all this fucking trickster bullshit. Like, it works with 5 minutes. But in a 10-minute capacity, it's too fucking much. This is the worst fucking match on the G1. Probably the worst fucking New Japan match I've fucking seen in my life. This shouldn't have gone on long enough. At this point, it doesn't even fucking mean as much if Omega beats Okada later in the G1 when they meet at the B block. Because you made Omega look fucking weak as shit. He should have straight up murdered Yano. Yano's a fucking bum. Fuck. I'm so fucking sick of Yano. Why the fuck is Yano there? Like, seriously, why couldn't Tonga be in the G1? Brother, Tonga be in the G1. And you have a match between him and Omega. This would have been more entertaining than this fucking trash. Fuck you, Gato. This was bullshit. So, 0 out of 5 for that match. Just fucking dumb. Please, just no more 10-minute Yano matches with Yano. Just keep it under 5 minutes, for the love of God. So moving on from that, we got Okada and Sanada. These two working a damn good match. Where Sanada and Okada, they were brawl outside the ring. Sanada was beating the shit out of Okada for a little bit most of the match. And yeah, really good back and forth. Although Sanada was dominating most of the match. Working over Okada. And he would try to tie him up in the pretzel and drop kick him like right in his rib cage or his hips. And Okada, he would retaliate with some retaliate and do his usual moves. With his 5 moves of doom, hit a drop kick on the corner to the outside on Sanada. There were times where, yeah, really good counters where Okada tried to go for the Rainmaker. Sanada would get out, put him in the sleeper hold. Okada powered him up, hit him with the Tombstone. Tried to go for the Rainmaker. Sanada got out, put him in another fucking sleeper hold. Sanada would hit his usual double leapfrog drop kick. Okada would hit his signature drop kick. Just really good back and forth. And at the end, Okada would end up hitting Sanada with the Rainmaker for the 3 count. And that was day 6. So your standings for day 6 on the B block are Okada and Omega tied for 6 points. Suzuki and Evil tied for 4. Juice Robinson, Tama Tonga, Sanada, Toru Yano, and Unbreakable Michael Elgin, all tied with 2 points. And then Satoshi Kojima is still at 0 points. I'm going to have to give day 6, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. It could have been better. This was really a step down from day 4. And the Omega Yano match really fucked it up for me. But it was still a good showing for New Japan. So these stretches, let's see. I'd have to give overall days 4 through 6, combining it as a whole, I'd have to give it a 7. I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10. Because day 6 was the weakest out of them all. I just wish New Japan should step it up. Hopefully A Block has been pretty good. A Block's been pretty good with their matches so far. A Block's been pretty consistent, and that's something that was missing from them during last year's G1. B Block, their consistency haven't quite found a consistent pace. So hopefully B Block steps it up, as does A Block keeps bringing it. So that's it for days 4 through 6. I'll be back hopefully sometime this week to talk to you about days 7 through 9. So about to head home, and I'll catch y'all later. Peace.